Hi guys, welcome to our latest podcast of Black Yarns. Tonight I've actually got PJ here to talk to us. So PJ, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, AJ.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're from? Who are you?
So I'm from Wadeye in the Northern Territory. It's a remote community southwest of Darwin, about 400 k's. You can get a flight there. It's an hour to 45 minutes, or you can drive and it takes you 6 hours.
Oh, cool. And how long have you been in Melbourne for? Because you came down to Melbourne to study at Scotch College, didn't you?
Yeah, so I've been in Melbourne about 8 years.
8 years. Maths wasn't your best subject, was it?
Oh, no, definitely not. But before that, I went to Bright for 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you like about going to Scotch College?
It just gave me so many opportunities. It's made me have lifelong friends. I still am mates with today, and had a really good opportunity to travel straight after I finished my school there, and then I got to do uni. So that's the sort of opportunities that I got from going to Scotch.
Yep. So when did you finish year 12? How many years ago was that?
Year 12, I finished 5 years ago.
5 years ago. And where did you travel to?
I did 6 months overseas. I went to Japan for Christmas. I did White Christmas there with the snow. That's awesome. I worked up in the mountains as well for a little bit. I was sick. And then after that, I went to North America, watched a bit of basketball, a bit of baseball, went to some college sport stuff.
Yep.
And then I went to South America, and then I came home after that.
Yeah. You went to Hawaii too, didn't you?
Yeah. On the way over from Japan, we stopped over in Hawaii for
Yeah, because we were trying to catch up in Hawaii with you, and you flew out a couple of days before I flew in.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise I would have got to see you.
That would have been awesome.
I would have loved to catch up with you in Hawaii. So what did you went to uni? Where'd you go to uni?
I did a Bachelor of Arts extended at Melbourne Uni doing Indigenous studies.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And you finished that last year?
I haven't finished, but no.
So what year level are you now? What year doing now?
I'm not studying it at the moment. I'm having a break from it. So.
Oh, that's cool. Cool. And you're doing work at Scotch College at the moment?
Yeah. So my work at Scotch, I'm mentoring another kid who's from Wadeye as well.
Yeah.
Just sitting in his classes and just sort of, because English is not first language as it was for me. I found it really hard. I guess just having someone who been through Scotch before and having the language as well can be a really big boost for TJ.
Yeah. How did you cope when you first went to the college?
Oh, the first term, I'd say, was very, very overwhelming. It's a massive school and it's in the city. There's so many kids that go there. It's so overwhelming.
Yeah. So where you came from, how many people are in the whole community?
About the size of the school.
Okay, yeah.
So about 3,000.
3,000 people?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you know most of those people, or at least their families?
No.
No.
I'd say about 250 in each year level. So
yeah.
It's hard to get to know all the boys in your year.
Yeah. What's one of your best memories of Scotch College?
I'd have to say like a lot of the sports, like trips.
Yeah.
Or I'd probably have to say like my Cambodia trip that I went to. Um, I went to Cambodia with Habitat for Humanity and like built a house. We went over there with a school group and we built two houses, and I got to build one of them. So just awesome experience I had at Scotch.
That was awesome. That would have been awesome. What grades were you at Scots? Did you come in year 9 or?
Yeah, I came in year 9 in 2015 and then year 12 in 2018.
Yeah. So when I came to work at the school and do work at the school, were you in year 11?
No, you first came when I was first in year 9.
Or I was in year 9. Oh my God. That's, yeah,
Yeah, it's been that long since you've been there.
I know. Like, oh my God. And now you're back as like a staff member, and
Weird as.
you think I'm better than what I was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to keep control of 10 boys is difficult.
Yeah, it can be.
Couple of when you go home back to what's it like going back home?
I get really refreshed from going home.
Yeah.
Because most of the time I'm usually here in Melbourne, and then I'll go home and it's seeing all your family after like 3 or 4 months. So it's really refreshing when I go up there.
Yeah. So did you go home when TJ goes home, or will you stay here in Melbourne?
Holidays, like the school holidays sort of time period, I usually go back home because that's when most of my family will be on holidays as well.
Yeah.
Just a good time to be with family on holidays, I think.
What's the thing that you enjoy most at home?
I'd have to say just being with family. Like, yeah, just being with family I enjoy the most about going back home. Yeah, just hanging around.
Having TJ in Melbourne with you, is that great? Because he's your family too.
Yeah, it's crazy. I never thought anyone else from Wadeye would be able to go through Scotch, but how awesome to have TJ there.
Yeah.
Well.
So in the community, how many people have actually finished year 12?
Not sure exactly, but last year we only had, I think, 2 graduate or finish year 12 from Wadeye. But then the year before that, we had, I think, maybe 6 or 7 from Wadeye at the Wadeye school graduate. So
Yeah. And has Wadeye got a big school, or what's the school like up there?
yeah, it's big. It's just that the attendance of the kids that really low, so makes it seem like a small school, but it's a really big school.
Yeah. And did you go to that school until you were in up to year 8?
Year 7. So I went from primary all the way to year 7 up there. I did year 7 up there, and then I came down here and did year 7 again.
Ah, okay. Was the year 7 different than where you were?
Yeah, way different.
Yeah.
The Wadeye school is also like a bilingual learning school. So you learn Murinpata, which is the language of Wadeye, and you also learn English.
Yeah. So how good was your English when you got to Melbourne?
That was not good. Not good at all. This is a long time of me practicing speaking. So yeah.
I remember when I first met you, you were very quiet.
I bet.
Could you understand what everyone else was saying, or?
Yeah, you know what people are saying. It's just like when you try and say it, it's just like some words like just don't come to you naturally as like others might find it as. Yeah, is what I found.
Yeah. Even now, when people talk to you, do you think in English or do you think in your own language?
I still think in my own language, yeah.
Yeah, and then have to translate it back?
Yeah, so I have to translate it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So having TJ at the school is actually pretty awesome for you too, because you get to talk language as well.
Yeah, and learn like in his classes, I get to like explain to him in language like what the teacher's trying to teach him in English.
Yeah.
So I get that as well, like that. I get that two-way learning of TJ as well. So it's benefiting both.
That's good. That's good. Would you like to see more kids from Wadeye come down?
I definitely love more kids from Wadeye to come down.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
could have a little dormitory just for them.
Could be trouble.
Yeah. So growing up, how connected to you were you to your culture?
Growing up, I was more privileged than like what most other Indigenous kids would probably feel. Like I had my culture around me from when I was very young. My mum is a elder in my family group, and so is my uncle. So I had them growing up with me as well.
Yeah. So in community, you go hunting, initiation ceremony, the whole lot.
Yeah, I had to when I was very young. I had to do the men's ceremony, and I did that before I came down to Bright. So when I was 11 years old, I went to first men's ceremony, and then
Is that a normal age? Is that a normal age for the boys up there?
from like the age range is about from like 10 to like should be around 15, 16, but sometimes like they don't go through it, so they have to do it later on, so they're like 20, 23-year-olds doing it.
So how come you were quite young when you did it?
I guess like having an uncle and mum so strongly with like connected with culture, they just wanted me to go through it. Yeah.
So when you first came to Melbourne and you met some of the other Aboriginal boys, were you surprised that they didn't know much about culture?
Yeah. Like I thought like everyone like around Australia, all like the Aboriginal people were still all had their culture exactly like the same as what I had in Wadeye.
Yeah.
But then like coming down and learning from Melbourne and all like Victoria stuff that happened, it's really saddening.
Yeah. Were you shocked at that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like later on, I like realized now it's made me like a bit angrier because like, why wouldn't you learn that sort of stuff? Like it's your own, like you're in your own country and you don't even learn about it, sort of thing. It's just it's a bit annoying.
And without like, I don't want to dob TJ in kind of thing because he's not here to talk, but have you noticed that he's experiencing the same kind of things that you did when you first came?
Yeah, I can see like some of the stuff that he does. I like the especially like when he does stuff that he shouldn't be doing. Like I try and say like, oh no, don't do that. Like I try and guide him like to like make him not make the mistakes that I made like sort of when I went through it in school, sort of thing.
What because you love playing sport. What's your favorite sport?
Footy.
Yeah. What did you try at Scotch to become a footballer, or did you know that maybe that wasn't for you?
I definitely like early on, year 9 and 10, I definitely tried, but then I like realized, so then I like didn't spend as much time like trying to do that. So I just did it just to have fun and be around mates.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. Because Scotch has got if people don't know about Scotch, it is very football orientated for sure.
Very sports orientated.
Yeah. How was your relationship with the school in terms of them accepting Aboriginal kids?
My time at Scotch was really like just so smooth sailing the whole time, which is I'm extremely grateful for. And I think having 3 others that I knew when I went there first time probably really helped as well. And 2 of them, like when I joined, I had the twins I stay with. We all share the same birthday, and we've all known each other from when we were very young. So I had that with me. So my time at Scotch was like pretty smooth sailing for me.
Oh, that's good.
And they had their older brother there as well, so it made it so much easier.
Oh yeah. So it was like a little adopted family, really.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Question: do you think Australia is a racist country?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you experienced racism?
Thank God I haven't. No.
No.
No, I haven't.
That's good. That's good.
I hope I don't.
What's things do you like doing besides playing footy?
I like fishing. I like traveling, obviously.
Yep.
Love traveling. I was start of the year, I was in Bali for a couple of weeks. That was awesome.
Nice.
I got heaps of footy gear from there for my family in Wadeye. It's all very cheap in Bali as well, so it's good.
You must be the most traveled person from Wadeye, really.
I hope so. I'd like to think I am.
Yeah, little passport that's like nearly full of travels.
Yeah.
Where would you like to go? Where's a place you haven't been that you'd love to go to?
Probably like further down South America, so like Brazil, Argentina, or somewhere like that. Like I went to like only like the top of the South America, but I'd like to go down like towards the bottom. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, nice. What was the best thing that you saw when you were over there?
When I was overseas, I have to say the snow in Japan.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Best snow I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've been to Japan, but I went just after snow season, so we could still see it on Mount Fuji. So when I went up to Mount Fuji, up to the level, like you go up on the train and then you stop up there. I got to see the snow, the top part on snow, and I thought that was the most amazing thing. But you must have been there like a couple of months earlier, if that makes sense, when you got to see the beautiful snow. Yeah,
good time to go there is during the snow time,
because it doesn't snow in Wadeye, does it?
No, definitely.
So skiing isn't one of the best things that you guys do in Wadeye, is it? No. What's the thing that drives you to do what you do at the moment?
I think the thing that at the moment it is just like being there for people. At the moment, I want to be there for TJ to get the best out of studies for him. So yeah.
Do you have any role models or people that you look up to?
Yeah. I'd probably say my parents were my role models.
Yeah.
My uncle is. My guardians that I've stayed with down in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes a good role model?
I think someone who like is there to like help people in like areas that they need. Like someone might need help somewhere else, so you help them there, sort of thing.
Yeah. Would you consider yourself a role model for people?
Like to think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I am for all my nieces and nephews. I hope I am.
Yeah.
I hope they see me.
I'm pretty sure you are, man. I really do think you are.
So.
I've known you for like, I'm just trying to think, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And I just want to say how proud I am of knowing you for that long, and for the young man that I first met to the man you are now, you've done amazing stuff. And
Thank you so much, AJ.
Tell me a little bit about the studies that you were doing. What subjects were you studying?
So I was doing like a Bachelor of Indigenous Studies.
Yep.
And with that, we'd look at like colonialism in Australia and then like cultural stuff, sort of like I did a presentation on like my culture back home.
Yep.
On one of my dreamings that I have.
Do you want to share one of your dreamings with us?
So one of our totems is the mosquito, and his story is he was traveling along from a long way, getting ready for a big ceremony where Rainbow Serpent was doing a performance. And then, so when he's getting ready to do his paint, he's doing his paint. And then, you know how he has his long, pointy, whatever that is. So he's getting paint through that and like painting himself up. But when Rainbow Serpent's doing his performance, makes all the creatures, turns them into animals. So the mosquito becomes a mosquito because he's still painting himself with this long pointy beak.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that.
All good.
Yeah. What's can you teach us in your language how to say hello, or teach us something that we can practice?
Yeah. So there's not really a word for like hello, sort of.
Yeah.
You can say how you doing, which is patatanam.
Patatamam.
Pata
Pata.
tanam.
Tamam.
Ta
Ta.
nam.
Nam.
Yeah. Pata
Pata.
tanam.
Tamam.
Ta.
Pata. Like butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Butter.
Tanam.
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 Yeah.
Patatanam.
Yo, patanam.
Oh, I have to practice that one.
Yeah.
What's something else I can learn?
I think you'll like this one. Ambaya.
What was that?
Ambaya.
Ambaya.
Yeah, which is goodbye. Well, it's like slang goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Otherwise, mupwa or tara is goodbye.
How do you say mate?
Karo.
Karuk.
Yeah.
Karuk. I'm going to start calling you my Karuk when I see you.
Yeah.
If that's okay. I was just besides Karuk. Karuk.
That's fine. Karo.
Cuddle.
Yeah.
Cuddle. A bit like cuddle.
Yeah.
Like cuddle your mate. That's cool. That's pretty good. What's the biggest stereotype that people have about Aboriginal people that you've heard of that you want to make sure changes?
I don't know. Like, that's a big question to be for me to answer at the moment. Sorry, AJ.
That's all right. I'll cut there too. I'll ask you a different question. You can ask me a question if you want.
What about you? How would you answer that one?
Okay. I think the biggest stereotype is that that Aboriginal kids seem to get everything, that there's all these benefits that are out there and all these programs to help Aboriginal kids, and we shouldn't be helping Aboriginal kids per se, we should be helping all kids. But the reality really is that this is the first generation of Aboriginal kids getting to year 12, really. And you and TJ are a good example of that. And the kids that you've just mentioned at the Wadeye school in the last couple of years, did their parents finish year 12? No. And I think that's one of the biggest stereotypes that I don't think the majority of Australians really understand, that this is often the first generation of Aboriginal kids that are participating in school, that, if we want to close the education gap and the employment gap, it's really hard to close the employment gap if we're just starting to get kids to year 12 now. That's the biggest stereotype, I think. And when they say that, the university offers all these scholarships for Aboriginal kids, how many Aboriginal kids are actually getting to university? The numbers are actually quite low. We're getting good numbers, don't get me wrong, but we're just starting to get people into university and getting people educated. And then once you get education, once you start to close the education gap, then you can start to close the employment gaps that kind of exist. Because what I want to see more Aboriginal lawyers, more Aboriginal doctors, more Aboriginal nurses, more Aboriginal social workers. But if we can't get them to year 12, how are they going to go to university to study those things? If that makes sense. So I think that's one of the biggest kind of barriers that kind of see. A question I do have: the kids from Wadeye, the ones that have finished year 12, what do they do after year 12?
The ones that have recently just finished, I think a lot of them do actually have, like, they do have jobs. I think maybe 2 or 3 of them are working at the school.
Okay. Helping other kids get to you.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. Do you think the education system is a different? So would you say year 12 in your community is very different than the year 12 standard in Scotch College?
Yeah, I think it's very, very different.
Yeah. Do you think? Sorry.
I think it would be very, very, very different.
But do you think one of the biggest differences might be that your mob becomes more job ready than some of the Scots College boys, if that makes sense?
When they're doing the year 12,
yeah,
it's more towards like job ready when they're doing it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big difference as well.
Yeah. Hey, what's your favourite football team?
Brisbane.
Brisbane, why?
My dad's from Queensland.
Ah, cool. What's your dad's mob?
He's not Indigenous.
He's not Indigenous. I didn't know that.
I thought I told you.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I forgot. I knew your mum was.
Yeah.
I didn't know your dad was. So your dad wasn't. Okay, cool. What's the where's he from up there anyway? What area?
He's from like near Rockhampton.
Okay. Have you been back up to his family a lot?
A few times when I was young though.
Yeah. but not since you're older.
I haven't been there, Queensland, since maybe when I was 14. Yeah.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I've got heaps. I've got
No, you've got heaps. That one I did remember.
both mum and dad were both married before, and mum's got one son and four daughters.
Yep.
And my dad, he's got two sons and a daughter.
Wow.
So
That's a pretty big sibling.
yeah, big sibling house. I've got 3 brothers and 5 sisters.
Yeah. And do you all get together at all?
When I go home, I see them.
Yeah. What's the thing that you would want changed if I gave you $1 million or millions and millions of dollars and a magic wand? What would you like to see changed in Aboriginal people's lives?
I think just probably like if I'm like looking at it from Wadeye,
Yeah,
I'd probably say probably better housing from up there.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at it down here, I'd probably say I'd probably pour it into towards education or something towards that.
Would you like to see more Aboriginal history and studies put into the curriculum?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think it's changed at all since you were at school to now TJ's at school?
Not much, but they're definitely more aware of it. They know, they understand it there. And I think they actually do look at it now. In some classes, which is good.
That's good, yeah. Well, I'm just watching the time, and I know that the podcast, I could talk to you for ages, and I probably will catch up with you later.
Yeah.
I do want to say thank you for hanging with us, but I want to ask you one final question. Any final words that you've got?
I think just thank you for having me, AJ. Thanks so much.
Thanks for hanging with me, man. The whole purpose of what I'm trying to do is create a platform so people can actually see the diversity of Aboriginal people that live in Melbourne. Yeah. That we come in all different colours, shapes, sizes, backgrounds, qualifications, experiences. But as a group, we are here to stay, basically, is what I'm after. So thank you very, very much for talking to me.
Thanks.
I know you're an awfully shy person as well sometimes, but you've done really well. And I'm going to give you a big virtual hug.
You.
So, hey guys, join me for the next podcast, and thanks PJ for hanging with us.
Yeah, thanks AJ.